Sorry, guys. I don't want to be dramatic. Oh, wow. That's... All right. We've got the devil, the emperor, the Six of Cups. I didn't even shuffle for too long, right? This seems to be for my masculines, although I don't even know if I have any masculines in my audience. So this will be interesting. To base it though, because I really don't think I have many masculines in my audience, I would like to extend this reading to touch on the masculine energy that's present in every individual. This is the energy of will, doing things, making the decision, and making any decision and being certain about whatever the consequence is of that decision, you'll handle it. Doesn't matter. Even if it's a problem, there'll be a solution for it. That's the inner masculine that's grounded. That's normally the part of you that would have to take the lead in order to be secure and confident. So it seems like someone's inner masculine or an actual masculine is extremely wounded right now. And I think that this tends to show up in, obviously it shows up a lot in relationship setups where the male or the more harder, less emotional, more logical person in the connection, in the dynamic, let me rather say, is making actions and decisions that are rooted in shame. So they're possessive. They may be controlling the way that the softer part moves. Again, this could be even in yourself. In a dynamic, this is the harder, logical part, controlling the softer part, not allowing them to go out, insisting they behave in certain ways, do certain things, lots and lots of judgment. Everything that the softer, feminine, female part does. Why are you doing that? That doesn't make any sense. Squinted face, squinted eyes. While we're covering this topic, this isn't to make excuses. This reading in general is it's time to grow up kind of thing. Inside a person, this kind of energy can show up as... So, to be quite honest, I'm still working on this myself. I know that my inner masculine is very much in this era right now. So I'm speaking from the inside. It can show up as a deep fear of responsibility, a deep fear of making decisions and choosing a side, a fear of confrontation, fear of vulnerability can also show up as fear of vulnerability. Wounded masculine is fearful of being vulnerable because they're scared of being accepted. We also have someone who every decision that they do make always ends up in a messy consequence. It always just ends up in a mess. Or maybe even, and I honestly think that this is a deeper masculine wounding, in my opinion, a deeper wounding of masculine energy. But this can also show up in the inability to communicate because of an uncertainty of what you're saying. So like I wanted to say stuttering, but I'm pretty sure that it's not the same thing. I mean, just more like it can show up as stuttering, but this would not have anything to do with someone who has a stuttering problem. I have to be clear about that. Very different things here. Please be aware of what I put in the caption of my videos. But yeah, all of that, with this as the cherry on top, tells me that again, it feels like I'm making an excuse for this person, but maybe delivering this information to you will help you understand something more, either about yourself or about someone else. But the root of this wounding is from when you or this other person was a child. If you think back to a moment in you or this other person's life where something very, very scary happened and no one was there to protect you or this person, and no one was there to say, it's okay, you're safe regardless. Yes, these shadows of life, they happen, but they do not by any means signal that that's how life is supposed to be. Nobody softened you up after that really hard first blow as a child. And it's time to face what that wound was. You may have a memory of crying very deeply about something. I do honestly believe that this is also something that you can sit very patiently with your subconscious about. If before you meditate, you put the prompt that asks you to show a memory in your mind of when you were hurt, and then you start to unpack what that was. Please do that in a safe space. Make sure that you have access to resources and community who can ground you. This is very sticky, painful work that can send you into a spiral that can be a little bit difficult to get out of because of how vulnerable this is. This is very vulnerable, tender, ouchy work. So when you dive into it safely. It's just shadow work. And this is also giving shadow work around father wounds, daddy issues. And just by the way, those of us with wounded masculine, we got daddy issues. We have daddy issues. And it's time to work them out. Because a lot of it's, I think it's underrated, or it can't go said enough times, how deeply a father wound affects your ability to feel safe in the world, and to feel understood, to feel like you belong. Yes, that's very nurture, feminine, mother energy, but I do think that we tend to undervalue the role of masculine energy in a child's life, not just in the form of a father. Gay rights. For real though, we're in a future where things look different. I'm just talking about the will. Like I explained in the beginning of this reading, the ability to, I'm going to choose this, and whatever happens afterwards is going to happen. Something about that energy is very and I always use this. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like when a frequency gets distorted, you know? That's what I'm receiving. But this distortion is intentional. It's coming from somewhere deep within. And it needs to be addressed with tenderness and care and awe and inner child healing and, you know, just like softness. Lots and lots of softness. Let me shuffle from the Intuitive Tarot and close the reading. Thank you. That's interesting. All right. We have the Seven of Cups in reverse. And then we have the High Priestess beneath the deck. So this highly likely is an energy that's showing up in a very, very powerful individual. Not gender specific, but somebody who is being tasked, oh my God, and the star beneath. Someone who's being tasked with the responsibility of balancing energies within them. One of those energies, namely the masculine, hard, logical, practical side of you, is under duress, sort of. Personally, what helps me process this energy before I read the interpretation of the Seven of Cups is weightlifting, exercising, being strong and not being shy about seeing myself as strong instead of trying only to be soft, tender, loving, all of that stuff. I'd mentioned those words earlier, though, being soft, tender, and loving to yourself. Vulnerability, I feel, is a big theme. We have fantasies that are never put to the test of reality, grandiose schemes with no practical application of energy to manifest them. Yeah, choices offered, but the least challenging road is taken. Yes, because of the wounded masculine. There also seems to be this lack of energy. This can also show up as in the form of a lack of energy. Where you feel tired, but you feel tired in a way. Not in a way where you want to sleep or anything like that. It feels like it's coming from somewhere deep within you. The masculine energy is being triggered. If you have, try I also recommend sticking to your word, man. This can be satisfying, I think. I don't know what part of the human psyche this satisfies. I know this is directly taken from a psychologist's advice, where you write a list at the beginning of the day, start your days writing a list, and as you go, check that list off. Something about ticking the list and completing your to-do list, specifically something you set out for yourself. Something about that is helpful, I feel to say. And like I said, exercising, creating a schedule for yourself and sticking to it. I feel called to suggest wearing the color red. Anything. Meditating on the color red, doing root chakra meditations. And I also feel called to suggest that you feel very, very angry about things. Don't hold back. Be pissed the fuck off and cry if you have to. And yeah, if you're looking for more, please do reach out to me. Thank you always for watching and commenting and everything. I really do see every single one of them. I just get overwhelmed by trying to formulate sincere replies for every single comment, but I am so grateful. And I also don't think that liking them is enough. It feels a little bit insincere. Anyway, I see them. Every single comment, I see it. Thank you. I'll see you in the next reading.